He is, in my opinion, a person who has articulated in practical terms what long ago Dindayal Upadhyay had formulated as the theory of integral humanism. Throughout his writing, speeches, and what has been extracted here in this book, the emphasis is material progress must harmonize with spiritual development. The economics that is taught all over the world is one-dimensional theory, which is purely how you can either profit or maximize your profit or maximize your production. Moditva means, of course, modiness. That is the distinctiveness of being Modi, or what is the subtitle idea behind the man. The first key proposition of Mr. Narendra Modi is what I would call as the market principle, where he says that people will be willing to pay for assured good quality goods and services they need for their economic activity, and there is no need to subsidize it. This he has demonstrated in the supply of electricity to farmers and industrialists in Gujarat. The second principle is that what we have to ensure as a part of this market principle is that there is a level playing field for both the producers, the competitors, the consumers. And when you apply this principle, certain things which look as if you are against the market principle can easily explain. For example, the question of Walmart coming to India. Walmart will come to India with the benefit of receiving funds from American banks at 2% interest. And they will be able to participate in the cheap labor that India has. If the existing Indian traders have to compete with Walmart, they will have to access capital at 12 to 18% and compete with Walmart for the same cheap labor. This is not a level playing field. And it could be made overall, there could be a compensation if the Americans would allow our companies to take our labor to their country and build roads and houses and so on, where we have an advantage, and draw on the capital, cheap capital of America. That the United States will not agree on the grounds of immigration. So this inequity, this lack of level playing field is the reason why the BJP has been against allowing Walmart into the country. The second key principle is what I call as responsive governance, and that is, in Modi's own words, that as society progresses, the focus of government must shift and change and adapt. That is, the government must withdraw from some areas and enter other areas. And then he, of course, quotes Chanakya, saying that the government is the chariot and the people have to be the charioteers. So this less intrusive government, more extensive government, a healthy balance that is to be achieved between authority and accountability, is what he has called as the participatory budget. The third key proposition that comes out of this book is known as what I call as the optimization principle. That in every economic decision there is not only private costs and private profits or gains, but there is a social cost and a social gain. And therefore, for example, if you have a factory which pumps in smoke into the atmosphere, the factory owner may make profit, but the society loses because the health hazard that it creates. Or if somebody starts an orchard, then a person next door can set up a beehive and benefit from the fact that the bees can go and extract honey from the blossoming flowers before the fruit. So these are things which are part of the social gains which he wants to focus, and therefore he has advocated that every economic decision must take into account the social cost and social benefits. The fourth key principle that comes out of his writings is that of decentralization. If I may put it in a simple way, what essentially he's saying is that if you have a complicated problem, of an n-dimensional complicated problem, you convert it through decentralization into n problems of one dimension each, which are easy to solve. Instead of taking the n-dimensional problem as a totality, you break it up through decentralization into simpler problems. Finally, throughout Narendra Modi's writings, we find great emphasis on productivity and innovation. Mr. Modi, in his writings, his speeches, shows that this is the focus that has to be given. And after all, if India has a population below the age of 35 of more than 70%, this is the young population which will produce the innovation.